Hey, it's Saturday night. We're going to talk fires and Bigfoot. Are you ready? And we're live. How are you guys? It's Saturday night. And what a busy day it was. I meant to be on here a lot earlier. Let me turn on the chat. See. Hi, Mr. Lurks a Lot. How are you? Yeah, I meant to be on a lot earlier. Today we had all kinds of trouble. We'll get into that. How does fire affect Bigfoot and Sasquatch? That is a really good question. I'm not sure I really know, but I have some ideas, And no, you're not late. You're right on time. But yeah, so I would have been on here like an hour, maybe an hour and a half earlier. Only we had a problem with our, I don't know what you call it, the breaker box, the entire breaker box. Like it started shorting out and the light started flickering and the power went out and I was having all kinds of trouble. But I have a friend that's an electrician. He came over and he kind of jerry-rigged it for a little bit, so I can have lights and camera and action. And so here I am. It took a little while for him to fix it, a little longer. But, I told him take as long as it takes because, we went and bought another breaker box. So we're going to have to replace the breaker box and the breakers. And he'll probably, now that he rigged it up so it works, it'll probably be, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday before you can actually change it out. So that's where I was, and that's why I'm so late. I didn't mean to be, though. So hi, Mark and Knuckleavi and Murray, and I saw Christian. Hey, Callie Bigfoots, Christian, Bobby, and Murray, and Lurks a Lot. And you're not good. What? You're right on time, man. Right on time. So what? Yeah. Fire. Yeah, we're talking fires and breaker boxes. Yeah. But I saw the question right here. So how does fire affect Bigfoot and Sasquatch? That is a really good question. Something I really want to know because I'm going to say pretty much every mountain area that we go squatching is burned. And the last one that we were holding out that we thought that we've been going to for a decade or more is now being threatened to burn, or it is burning. So it looks like that's something we're going to have to deal with here now, Hey, Bolt Gun, what's up, brother? And I'm not sure what I'm doing here. There we go. I think so too, Christian. I think the Bigfoots are going to be in the valley. And one, it's going to be easier and closer to home. That's one good thing. Two, it might not be a good thing for people living down here. They're going to be losing little animals and cats and dogs and goats and geese and all that kind of stuff. Or we're going to have to drive a lot further and find some new places. I'm doing pretty good. Even though, that I seen the doctor and the doctor said my AC1 is high. So now we're going to have to work on my sugar. So I got all this fun health stuff, but it's not going to stop me from doing this or squatching or anything. But we've been inundated with fires this year and last year, some of the biggest fires ever. I remember, I'm an old dude, so I remember lots of fires in the mountains. Even when I was a kid, they had fires. Every year we have one or two what we called big fires, 50,000 acres or a little more. Well, now those are little pipsqueak fires. Now we're talking about 365,000 acres, 600,000 acres. I mean, hey, cryptid, what's happening, brother? Yeah, not always lightning. I think they blame a lot of it on lightning, but I think it's more nefarious than that, really. I have a feeling that, yeah, the whole sky is smoke. I've been videotaping the moon, in fact, every night, right at the moonrise, and it's orange every night. The sunsets are beautiful, though, you know. I still smoke. I have cut back, though, but I do smoke still. And I mean, I used to be like a party animal, I used to be really bad. And in April 26, 1986, I quit everything except smoking. Yeah, I mean, no drinking. I haven't had a beer in 30 years, it seems like, and or anything like that. And so it's hard to give, like, I don't want to be clean all the way clean. You know what I mean? But I do want to live, but I don't want to be like this clean, don't have any, and don't do anything, like, what? Life's no fun. And I actually enjoy that habit a little bit. Yeah, the moon's been pretty orange. Uh, Pretty orange. So I actually believe now that I'm going to give you my thoughts. Yeah, that's right. We need some vices. We need some vices. You got to have at least one. There we go. Even though you have 4 heart stents and getting ready to have some of that diabetes stuff and all that stuff. But you got to have one vice at least. I don't know what that is. I guess I'm gonna have to call it live streaming from now on, right? Slowly get rid of it. Cool, man. Congratulations. And, that is true right there. That is true. Late to the fallout. How's it going, ma'am? Or ma'am. It might be a ma'am. It's kind of hard to tell when everybody's got a handle, and it doesn't really, it's like Mrs. this or Miss that or Mr. this or Mr. that. It doesn't have any of that. Yeah, wow, it's going fast. Yeah, so I actually think the Bigfoot, I don't think the fire affected them as it, like, hurt any of them. I think they live under the ground in caves and stuff like that. So I think they booked it underground and waited it out. I don't think any of them got burned, and I actually believe that they're not going to leave the forest, the burnt forest. Every Bigfoot I ever saw, except for the white one, was black. So even though I heard of the red one, the red colored ones, like the orangutan color, I have heard of those. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that seen them: brown ones, gray ones, white ones, multicolored ones, like what, a calico Bigfoot. That place, it's still, I think it's open, I think, but only it's going to be closed for the winter here pretty quick. And where the mean Bigfoot was, and that's not burned yet, but the Sequoia Park National Park and Kings Canyon National Park are burning. They're trying to save the big trees, and one of our Bigfoot spots is like right by there. And I heard they had evacuation orders like 2 days ago for that area. So I'm hoping that it didn't go down in there. But if it does, it's going to burn royally big because there's huge. They did a lot of logging in there of the dead trees that they call bark beetle trees, but there's tons of them down there, all cut and stacked, big giant bonfires. I mean, it's going to be bad if it goes down in there. And I have some friends that are deer hunting right now, and they said there's deer all in the forest where it burned last year. And I'm wearing my shirt. I don't know if I can show everybody. Ugh. Rock to rebuild. Rock to rebuild. We're holding. My nephew has been doing some concerts up at Shaver. We have another one coming up next weekend, I think, and we hold these events, and we're raising money for the people that got burned out of their house. And you can even look that up online if you want to donate. It's a really good cause. The people they lost their homes, and it's not to rebuild their home. It's to build a tiny home so they can move back on their land and start rebuilding. But they just need a little help is all in these areas. And I mean, it burned a lot of places, a lot. It's when I go up there, I mean, I have to carry a little napkin with me or a handkerchief because it gets to me seeing it. Hi, Christina. I made it. All the electric problems and everything, and I made it. I can't believe it. But everything's looking pretty good. You might see everything flicker every once in a while. That's when the air comes on. But I don't think the Bigfoot's house can burn down because I think they live in the granite in caves and underground caverns and stuff like that. And I think the entrances are places that we cannot get to unless we have climbing gear and we know exactly where we're going. But I've seen them do some amazing things, like going straight up rock walls and stuff fast. Like what would take a human all day, they'll do it in 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I mean, so fast that if you blink, you miss it. They're quick, really quick. Even going straight up, it's amazing. And but I think they're all okay. And my deer hunting friends now, they're saying that there's lots of deer. One of them counted 26 deer today or yesterday, and a bunch of spikes and stuff. No big ones though, but a lot of deer, a lot of little animals and stuff like that. So, or jump through a portal. Yeah. How's it going, bad boy? Yeah, the portals. That's another thing. I never seen a portal, but I have talked to a few people that say they have. In fact, I've talked to a few people that said they seen one over by the mean Bigfoot area, and just recently too. But I've down through the years, I've heard of the portals. And in fact, I was told when I was in my 20s, before I even seen a Bigfoot, it was 5 years before I seen a Bigfoot, I was told if I ever come up on a stairway in the middle of the nowhere woods, don't climb it. Don't go up it. No matter how much you want to, climb, because it's just a stairway going to nowhere. It just ends, just a stairway. But if you get on it, it's it's a portal. That's what I heard. And you might not ever find your way back to the stairway to get out of it. Some people have, though. That's what I understand. They went somewhere, they climbed the stairway, and then they went somewhere, and then they were able to find their way back out and climb down the stairway. And I heard there was even pictures, but I haven't been able to find anybody that has one. See, so you think you were in one, Christina? That's amazing. In fact, I'm worried about your woods up there. I know the trees will be fine, like those 2,000-year-old trees up there, the big trees. They'll be fine, but I hope it doesn't get on the res and burn all the way down. I'm praying you guys are safe where you are. These fires are so terrible right now. But yeah, what did it look like in there in the portal? That's an interesting thing. I've often imagined it. I heard a story about a guy that you see the one on TV. What is it? I haven't been to. Says I haven't been to church in a long time. I just haven't gone with my dad, but I do pray hard though. God will love you if you go to church or don't go to church. I haven't been to church since the 80s, probably 86. Same year I quit drinking and stuff. I actually worked for a church, some churches, and traveled around the world with them. And that's when I got to realize that some of these guys that are the pastors and the higher ups in the national part of the churches, talk about vices. Oh my God, these guys really are bad, and I hope God forgives them and they make it to heaven, because they have some problems, you know what I mean? And they're acting when they're up there. They act like God. They're God's messenger to everyone. I feel sorry for them, really. Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I remember you telling me that. So it was like you were still where you were, but she couldn't see you, right? And you could hear something speaking to you from the tree. Wow, that's a trip. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, in it for the money and not for God. That's basically, yeah. Let's see. Cryptid said something. Nothing yet on those guys, on the family. They're not saying. They came out with a. They went out. They went with a. What did they? They did the. I can't find the message now, or the text. Um, they did the autopsy and they didn't find anything. And then the military came in even, and we're doing something. And the military could still be there. I have no idea. They could be still doing stuff over there. I have no idea. Nothing is coming out about that at all. Yeah, I think I know they can talk to you telepathically. I've experienced that, and that's probably what they were doing with Christina. I mean, if it sounded like it was coming from a tree, it was probably telepathic. And you can talk back to them the same way. You don't have to speak with your mouth. They can hear you by speaking with your brain. And you could try that when you're out there and you're in an area in some woods. Oh, you heard it. Wow. That would freak me out. Now I've heard my name being called and I know it was them. I guess it didn't freak me out that bad. It'd be whatever they said though, that would be what would, I guess, make you freak out or not freak out. I know the little kitten thing that you shared, and I did share it with Jeff. I got it to him. I don't know if he still heard it. Really. Seeing and I bet they have it down on how you guys talk because they've been there so long over there. I think about that a lot. Like it sound like an old Indian, but I bet you they knew you when you were little, and they watched you grow up camping, and then they watched your kids grow up. Like I don't think people think about that. How's it going, Bigfoot and on? I think it's a big deal. I remember when we were over there and we were hearing the kitten under the cabin, and there was no kitten. We looked all over the place. There was no kitten. And I remember when it left the key on the back of your truck. That early morning, we found the key. We could hear the people walking around. We thought it was you outside walking around. You thought it was us outside walking around, and it really was them out there walking around. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. When I heard my name being called, at first it was a little bit shocking. Like, who was that? At first I thought it was a person, and then after it wouldn't do it again, and I was trying to respond, and nobody responded back, and it started dawning on me, that wasn't a man. Ooh, Everglades, scary place, scary Bigfoot, skunk ape. That's scary right there. You'll have to let us know how that goes. Do you have a YouTube channel? I want to follow that. I would love to follow that. Hey, Mr. Mark. And Mr. Mark says something pretty cool. Sasquatch people are catching the blame for almost every missing person in the woods. I believe blood-seeking adrenochrome humans and reptilians are doing this and have been forever. I agree with you on that one. I saw somebody, they had a map of all the dumbs, and they overlaid it on the Bigfoot or the missing 411 maps, and it completely matched. But it also matches on Sasquatch sightings. So maybe Sasquatch works with them. I have no idea. I'm just pulling stuff out. Oh my God, that is so funny. So are you gonna go out there and find Brian and make some money? I heard he's got a big old. I heard Dog the Bounty Hunter's after that guy. Oh man. Yeah, I heard he was out at the house. He's gonna go find him. Dog the Bounty Hunter. That's pretty cool. Hello, Renee. How are you? Let's see. My mouse is getting in the way. Cool. I'll be looking for that, and we should do that. I should have you on one day. I'll send you let's get hooked up, and we'll talk. Man, I hope you find him. Be looking. I heard he's out there somewhere in Florida. Ooh, that sounds pretty interesting. Someone who owns a cabin in Shaver, and he was telling me he received a notice of all Sasquatch sightings in this area. I'll try to get a copy of it. See, now I've been doing a lot of stuff up at Shaver in Huntington, and I've been hearing that there's a lot more sightings too, a lot more. And they don't want to talk about it at first, but once you let them know that you're not going to make fun of them, they open right up and start talking about it, because to them it's all new. It's like real exciting news and pretty cool. And I think that's how the jab is right now. I read a thing. I read a thing this morning about the jab that it goes after. What was the name of that? It was. I'll look for it. It goes after the God gene. Look that up. The God gene. They're looking to change the God gene. Something that you have in you in your DNA that allows you to be spiritual. That's what they want to change with that. Uh, yeah. I think the same thing, Mr. Mark. I think the same thing. 1B Tech, nah, you're not late. Evening, sir. Or, I don't know, it could be ma'am. I got to be careful. I shouldn't be doing the gender thing because I don't know. I'll just keep it with the 1B Tech. Hey, what's happening? And you're not that late. I was late. I'm the one that was late. Yeah, that's it right there. That's right, Cali Bigfoot. It is this. Look that up. That is what they're trying to change. I think that's it. Yep. That's the one they're trying to change. And I was reading that Bill Gates is the one spearheading the whole thing. Yeah, he's a jerk. They love calling billionaires jerks when they're jerks. There's something empowering about it, like a regular old poor guy saying, "You jerk," to some billionaire. That it feels good. Yeah. But the Bigfoots now, they can hide in the forest so good. But just imagine how good if you're all black, jet black, coal black, um, burnt tree black. Just imagine how well you could hide in that forest. Oh man, they can hide like no other. All they have to do is just stand still, and they're gone. They just look like every other burnt tree. That's really sad. She could talk to the angels, and then after she took the vaccine, she couldn't talk to them anymore. I actually believe God could change that if she asked and believed He could. That's the key right there. You have to believe God can do these things. He's big. I mean, this is going way off topic, but imagine uh, imagine being outside of time. Have you ever thought about what being outside of time is? I never really thought about that until I had a drone. Okay, so this is what being outside of time would be like. Okay, like with a drone, I was looking at a line of cars in the mountains, and they were winding through the roads, but I only could see 5 cars. But there was a good half a mile string of cars. Okay, so then when I took the drone up, I could see the first car and the last car and all the cars in between, and even a few miles down the road each direction from that string of cars. So I, in essence, was kind of like seeing things outside of time, right? I'm seeing what I'm seeing right in front of me, but then I'm also seeing the whole half-mile string of cars. But now think of it as lifetimes, and God lives on the outside of that, and He could see the beginning of time and the ending of time. Something like that. That is amazing, I think, right there. How's it going, AC? Yeah, these fires, I believe they're intentional. I believe that they've been spraying stuff in the skies for years, and that's flammable. And the trees have uptake that through the water, the root system in water, and they got it in a good decade of aluminum and barium, things that burn a lot. And then that killed the trees, and then the bark beetles started getting into the trees for states, and they're calling it climate change. It's not climate change. The climate hasn't really changed. They're manipulating the weather. There might be one thing that is causing climate change, but it's not us. It's not us. Okay, it's not us driving cars and burning gas and stuff like that. It's the sun. The sun goes through phases. Like right now, all the other planets, and this is going way off topic into space this time, all the other planets, all their poles, they're all ice. Well, they're all melted. Our poles are melting. I heard that now the sun is going on a minimum and everything's coming back. Like it's going to go, we're not going to overheat. We're actually going to freeze. That's what I hear. So but only now, they caused all this, and then they have space-based weapons, these beams. Then they can, like a paradise, the city of paradise. Google that and look at that. Look at some aerial shots of the Paradise Fire, and you'll be blown away. I mean, there's cars melted on the street in a neighborhood. No real forest or anything around it. All the houses are all burned too, but there's no reason for a car to melt. I mean, completely melt. I think that's how they started the fire. Was burn some of the cars. I mean, that is a trip, right? And I think they're doing it, and I think the whole reason they're doing it is driving us out of they want us all in the cities. They can control us better. I mean, if we're all in the city, they can control us. So the more they burn the wildlands, especially in California, that we're the test bed. We're the one with all the high population. We're the ones that if they can do it here, they can do it anywhere, right? So we get it first. And boy, are we getting it. That's exactly right. It is what brought those down. The fire trucks melted, Christina. Oh my gosh. And the fire was just like, it's like a grass fire, right? So you see them wrapping these giant trees with maybe 8 feet of foil, right? Or thermal blankets or something like that. And they say it's going to save the tree. But if it melts a fire truck, you think that thermal blanket's going to do anything? I mean, like, how gullible do they think we are, really? Hawks? They can grab fire and spread fire? That's interesting. Hi, Jaden. How's it going? That's interesting. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's burned so bad, and then they have that one burning over by, it's actually, what's really a trip is it's burning, it actually was 2 fires. And one was over by the Tule Res, 3 Rivers, and then there was another one over by Kings Canyon National Park. So there's Sequoia National Park that's south of Kings Canyon National Park. And there was a fire there and a fire over by Sequoia. And now they've burned together, and they're one big fire. They call the complex fire or something like that. We might I think the reptilians are in war with us. They want to put us They want to do it's actually like the demons. They want to do a one world order. I mean, you can read about this all in the Bible. If you open up the Bible and start reading, oh, like Revelations and prophecies for today, or in the future, supposedly in the future, what you will find is it is spelling out what we're going through right now. And it's a little bit unnerving when you start reading it and it's going word for word of what our news is saying and doing, and what you're seeing in the world. It's pretty bad. I know, like right now, they have all the ships out in I mean, get ready, you guys. Like, you see that thing streaming down there? It says prepare with Sasquatch.com. Prepare with me. I'm serious. I'm preparing. But check this out. Let me pull back the curtain. Well, that's my heater. I won't need it yet. But what I have, I told you guys I was ordering some. I ordered some. I got 2 buckets, 4 weeks. And I mean, it's pretty cool. I'll show you. We were checking it out, like home style potato soup. Right? Can you see that? Home style potato soup. It has all kinds of stuff in it. And right now they give you a deal if you go, if you just go to the Patriot Supply. Like, this is what I pulled one out. I pulled one of these out, and I already ate one. Chocolate pudding, my favorite. But yeah, I already ate one of those, and I think I have a little bit left in the bag. Oh. But the bucket has a lid that closes. You heard that snap? And it stores pretty easy. You just stack them up. And we need to get ready. Me and my wife, not only did we do this, did we buy the buckets, but I think we spent like $400 on canned foods and stuff like that. And then everybody says, well, now we know where to get some. Well, you better bring Remo Williams with you, because you better be good at dodging bullets. If you're coming for my food, you're going to have to earn it, right? You have to get by me, and I'm a really good shot. So, but only for reals, no kidding around. Things are happening that in our world that we should get ready. Like, the ships aren't unloading. You know what they're getting? They're trying to kill the economy. The ships aren't unloading. The trains, they're messing with the trains, so the trains can't deliver, right? The truckers, they're trying to make them get the jab. So if they don't get the jab, then they don't got the job. So and nobody's going to work for some reason. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't get it. I'd rather work than be on some kind of welfare-based system or something, because then they have control of you. As soon as you get, like, I hated being disabled and having to go on Social Security. I mean, at first it was like, oh man, at least there was Social Security. But then after I was on it a while, I was like, oh my God, I'm at the mercy of these people, It's sad. If you don't have a gun, get a gun, buy some ammo, or a pow. I shouldn't say the GUN word. But get your house in order. Get ready, because it's not going to get any better. I'm going to tell you right now. I was listening to Trump's speech today, and it was making me mad. I was absolutely getting angry. Like, I really didn't like Trump, but I liked that he was a businessman and he knew what he was doing, and he was making wise decisions like a businessman does with his business if you're going to be successful, which all the other presidents didn't even know how to run a eliminate Stan, let alone the biggest economy in the world, right? And they've really messed it all up. And he was pretty well on track. Well, they got rid of him. And now we have to deal with an idiot, right? A real idiot. I mean, somebody that he should be in a geriatric hospital. You know what I mean? Like this dude, like, I don't know what's going on. All I know is get ready. It's not going to get any better. It's probably going to get worse. And after hearing Trump, he's not helping anything. You know, he's just living in the past. All he wants to talk about is what he did. Well, we need to get doing something. Like, we need a plan. There's nobody making plans to do anything. We need to get our own plan, make sure that we can make it. And we need to start taking our country back. We need to start voting. We need to start, maybe voting isn't even any good. I watched the vote thing. They cheated all over the place with the computers. And I'm a computer guy. I understand what was going on. They cheated, okay? They cheated. And I'm telling you, we're going to have to do it. The people, we have to start taking back our city. We got to start running for city council. We need to run for the school boards. We need to change it. We're the ones. It falls on us. And we either just let them do whatever, which is not what I want to do. And it sucks being disabled, because I tell you, I would be leading the charge. I would be over there kicking Newsom in the butt and trying to be governor if I could. If I thought I could do it, I would. And it makes me mad, I tell you, all over. I don't know why there isn't a whole bunch of other mad people out here, really, honestly. And I'm sorry about the rant, but you see that little thing going under there, prepare with Sasquatch.com. Get yourself ready. That's one way. There's all kinds of ways. That's one way. And in fact, I didn't even really want a sponsor, but that one made sense to me. That one made sense. And it might even help me. If you order some of it, you know, I get paid a little bit. I don't know how much. Nobody's ordered, but it doesn't matter, long as you guys are okay, right? Long as you have enough to make it through. That's the part that matters to me, really, honestly. Like, get it somehow. Go to Winco. Go somewhere. Go to Costco. Get yourself ready. Hi, Renee. Hey, Cold Warrior. What's up? I get back to the chat and get off this, man. Because Governor Allen, hey, man, dude, I would in a heartbeat. If I thought I could put in the hours and stuff like that and do the time, I would. But I can't. I can't even keep up with Jeff. You know, I was trying really hard to keep up with Jeff. It was getting so bad, you know, that I'm okay with not being with Jeff because I can't keep up. It hurts too much, you know, like real pain to try to keep up with Jeff. And really, it wasn't that hard. But for somebody that's disabled, it's impossible almost. But yeah, I would go after the governorship. I would go after all kinds of stuff if I could. I would be backing people. I'll still back people, whatever it takes, you know. GER, the Lord is King. How you doing? Don't be spamming, man. Don't be spamming my chat, Lord is King, because there's a lot of wrenches out there that'll take you out. And if you're spamming, that means you're not good, and the Lord wouldn't have you do that on my channel. Yeah. Everybody with a wrench, be ready for Lord is King. Because actually in my chat, the wrench is king. Okay? Yeah. Well, thank you, B-Tech. 1B-Tech. Yes. That's 2 for 1B. I'm going to get a little graphic and put little check marks on it, you know, like 1B-Tech, 2 down. Yeah. KO. Oh, I love it. That's so fun. But yeah, I tell you, man, and I wouldn't even be like worried or thinking like this about stocking up. Me and Jeff talked about stocking up and getting prepared for a decade. A decade. We did a lot of shows on prepping and stuff like that. And it seemed like something was going to happen, right? Well, it was happening little bit by little bit by little bit. Oh, there goes the lights flickering. If if uh if it would have happened all at once, it probably would have made us look better, but it's been like, how do you eat an elephant? You can't just eat an elephant all in one bite, right? They're huge, but one bite at a time. And that's how they've been taking down America. We're the elephant, and they are slowly taking us down, taking our country, taking our freedoms. Now they're taking all our Sasquatching areas. I mean, they don't want us in the mountains. They don't want us Sasquatching. They don't want us having anything to do within the mountains. They keep closing the mountains on us, fencing it off, putting gates, and burning them now. I mean, all that stuff didn't work, so now they got to burn everything, man. I guess the best flashlight to depend on, I'm thinking the best flashlight is one with good batteries. I haven't, they're all the same to me. Unless you want to buy like one that's a weapon too, you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember what you call them. When I was in my law enforcement days, we used to have them like a Kel light or something like that, and they're aluminum. Yeah, but that's the best one. Just get batteries, stack up batteries. I have a big bag under my bed full of batteries. It's terrible what they're doing. What is it? Yeah, it's fun hanging out with Jeff. I've been enjoying Jeff here lately. He's had some good shows, and I'm glad that the truck didn't get him. But yeah, they are. They're hitting a mag light. That's the one I was talking about, Christina. A mag light. Yeah, there's probably the best ones. They can take a beating. Like somebody's coming for your food and you don't got your gun handy, you can whack them with your mag light, and it'll still turn on and off. I mean, I've broke them. I've hit people in cars and stuff like that. Like they tried to run over me, and I've whacked them, and the light was hanging off, and it was still working. I was directing traffic, and the dude tried to run over me. Oh, wham! Bust out his windshield and broke my light, but it still worked. Yeah, I believe that. I believe they would. LA has the underground reptoids. Yeah, they've been nuking the underground already. They've been nuking the underground already. Yeah, see, what I've been buying is the little $4, $5. They're like little lanterns, and you pull them up, and close them. They run on like 4 AA batteries, and you catch them on sale at Big Five, like for $5, $4, $4.99, something like that. And I just been stacking them in the in a tub in the closet, and then a lot of batteries. But they're so cheap, you could buy like 3 or 4 of them at a time, and then just stick them away, and they have it where there's a little plastic thing inside of it that keeps the battery from contacting, so it'll stay in there for a long time. And if it doesn't, I have batteries anyways. But it's a good idea to be getting yourself ready. I'm serious. Yeah, in fact, they've been telling me, hey, Sovereign, Cosmic Wildman, yes, get books on survival. Get books on survival. You could get apps. The only thing is, when everything goes down, like how are you going to why have a phone if all the systems are down? You know what I mean? So they do something in it. it messes up the cell towers and stuff like that. So now you're just carrying your phone around for what? To be a flashlight, or you're at nothing's going to be updated, or you're not going to be able to call anyone. Something better to do is get a SSB radio, a sideband radio. It has the upper and the lower AM, and you can also talk to ham operators with those. And what's good about them is everybody else is going to have regular CB radios, but if you have a sideband radio, say you and your family have you have sideband radios, you can tell everybody that we're going to meet on channel 22 on the lower band, and nobody on the regular CB can understand what you're saying. It could be the upper or the lower. It just sounds like whoa, 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 and they don't know what you're saying. So the whole family could hear what's going on, and only you guys or somebody with a ham radio or another sideband radio will be able to hear and know what you're saying. And that starts, like, I'm thinking of it mostly for when society fails and you're making a bug out plan with everyone. You don't want everybody to know where you're going or what you're doing, and they can't track it or trace it. The only way to do it with those are triangulate. So they have to have 3 people with radios to be able to triangulate on you. Just remember, when you're looking around, they're a little teeny bit more expensive. A sideband radio, okay? They have sideband walkie-talkies too. And then get some regular walkie-talkies for when you make it wherever you're at and people are out scouting around. You can still talk to them, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I thought about the sat phones, only I have a feeling they're going to turn the satellites off to everybody. And then what? You're just carrying a brick again. And yeah, I got the it's called the Cobra 229 LTD sideband radio. Cool. Thank you, Cold Warrior. But yeah, do that. I thought about doing that too. I heard about them. It's all about taste. That was when I bought these buckets. I was like, man, if it doesn't taste good, I just threw my money away, But so far, I've ate several things like potato soup and the chocolate pudding. It's all right. You could tell it's made with it has dry milk in it, and you just add water and mix it up and get it a little bit colder. If you use cold water, it's ready to eat right now. No waiting for it to get. It's like instant, and it's not bad. I mean, if it's cold, it's not bad, but if it's warm, it doesn't taste that great. But all the other stuff so far, not bad at all. Well, in the Bible, the Bible says that in these last days, the animals are going to attack everyone. Your animal, right? Your cat, your dog, your little fur babies or whatever, they're going to turn on you. According to the Bible, all animals are going to turn on man. That makes me wonder too. I mean, I've often thought about this, like with Bigfoot and Bigfoot Sasquatch. They've been around a long time. There's been sightings forever, but not like now. Not like the last 5 years. I mean, oh my gosh, there's sightings all over the place. They're building up for what? Why are they coming in? Why is there so many of them now? Why? And they've been coming before the fires. They've been coming into the cities. Yeah, we didn't either, but we got some money from the Cherokee Nation, so we decided we we're gonna drop $1,000 on everything. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing for me, Mr. Mark. If my animals go wacko, they're going to be just out of their misery really quick. You know. But yeah, the whole family, we got some tribal money, and we decided to spend some on these food stuff and survival gear. Like now I have a pistol. So I got some ammo. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm getting more ready. It's hard to get ammo though in California, and it's hard to get a pistol too. Oh my gosh, it's really hard. Luckily my son gave me one. In fact, I want prayers. I have four boys now. One passed away a few years ago, but I have another one that they just found out he has hairy leukemia. I don't know what that. It's like a blood cancer or something, and they're doing the tests and everything. So add him to your prayers. Add him to your prayers. Yeah, we don't know when that is, AC. We have to be ready. And if we stock up and some of our friends and family don't go, then we gave them a head start. You know what I mean? Like I have some family that they don't believe in God and they won't believe in God. I don't know what it'll take to get them to believe in God. I think that, I don't know, but if there is a rapture and we're gone, then they have a couple of Bibles to look at and find out what happened, and they also have some food and ammo and stuff, to get them through for a little while. This is going to be pretty bad. Oh, right on, Mr. Mark. How are you, man? I know who you're talking about. You don't owe me anything, brother. You don't. But if you want to make one, I would love to hang it behind me. But I'll have a studio pretty soon, or actually, I don't know when. Right now, I actually made this right here. This is like a little corner, and behind me is a bunch of boxes and stuff that we're storing stuff. And I just put a blanket behind me, and so I'm like, everything is in I don't know, a 5.5 foot square right here. And that's what I got, and that's how I'm streaming right now. I believe there will be. I just don't know when it is. Do you? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. We can know the season, and I'm going to tell you right now, we are close to the season. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, there's my doggy. What are you doing? What are you doing? See, like I would have to worry about this doggy right here. Hey, quit licking me, because it's a big one. I mean, it's really big. Huh? Yeah, yeah. Licked all over me. Yeah, get rid of it. Yeah, I actually read something about that, and I heard about that too, and and I was talking to some of my friends that are ex-military, and they don't like it very much. They don't like it at all. You know. Hey, Winston, what's up? Yeah, they don't like the idea. Here we train them with all these weapons and $1 million. We get let them control $1 billion airplanes and all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, when they get inside of home turf, they're not allowed. What's that? What is that? I remember, like, this is gonna probably age me a lot, but when I was in the 7th grade, I was in the rifle team, the drill team, and we had 22s, and we used to shoot and march and stuff like that with 22s. And we did this at school. We had our own little shooting range and everything, and we were shooting 22s, and they taught hunter safety and gun safety, and anybody could go in and shoot and join the class. I mean, it was for everybody. Now it's crazy. Like when I was in high school, everyone had a gun rack with a gun in it in their pickup truck. Everyone. There was not one shooting anytime. I mean, nobody even cared. I mean, nobody cared, really. I mean, even, we got pulled. We had one in our truck and get pulled over for something, and the cop wasn't freaking out that we had a rifle in the rack. I mean, everybody had one. It was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. They've made it something, okay? They did this. They are putting us against each other. They're pitting race against race. They're male against female, father against son, daughter against mother. I mean, schools rich against poor. They're absolutely using everything they have to divide us. We need to get better than that. We need to get better than that. We could be better than that. It wasn't like that. Everybody's been working hard through the years to cure and heal those kind of things. And here they are trying to split it wide open again. We don't have to. We don't have to. But I don't know why, but some are. And it gets me angry seeing all this stuff like this. Man, when I was a kid, you didn't even lock your front door and all your neighbors are looking out for you. I mean, I got my butt beat. I was probably in the second grade, and I had a really cool bike with a big old sissy bar on the back, and somebody gave me a flag, and a big flag, American flag, and I was riding it around the neighborhood. I had it tied to my sissy bar on my bike, and I was riding around, and you could hear it flapping in the wind, and I had a couple of playing cards in my spokes, with a clothespin. And I was having a good old time riding around the neighborhood, and I stopped. And it was probably the 20th or 30th time I stopped with the flag. But the flag was so long that it touched the ground. Well, the guy across the street blew a gasket. He was a veteran. And he come running out, and man, he chewed my butt for letting that flag touch the ground, was telling me how much the flag meant and all that, And then my dad came out, and I got whooped good for letting that flag touch the ground. I learned a lesson. The flag never touches the ground. And then later, I heard about this guy. He's a black man in the war, and he got shot in the face, in the legs, in the arms. He was being shot up. He never let the flag touch the ground. He lived to be an old age, but the whole time he was being shot up and everything, he did not let the flag. It was his job, and he did not let the flag touch the ground. That's what America is. We're Americans. We're not African Americans. We're not Native Americans. We're not Mexican Americans or Chinese Americans. We're Americans. All of us are Americans. We live in America, born in America, bred in America. We're Americans. And we don't have to forget our culture, where we came from, but now we're all Americans. And I probably should get off that soapbox, but man, here I'm supposed to be talking about Bigfoots and fires, and I'm preaching a sermon on America. What a trip. Where are we? Like, it doesn't even feel like America. Yeah, they're doing everything they can to take us out. Isn't that right? Man, they are. And I guess the fires is part of it. So what I wanted to talk about with the Bigfoot and the fires, it's actually part of the whole problem. I mean, It's just another tool in their box to mess with our life and take away our freedoms. And I mean, it's getting pretty hardcore. You know, we've been locked out of the woods. I don't know how many times. Like our Bigfoot areas. Every time we talk about an area and we let people know what area it is, next thing you know, there's fences and gates and rules, and we might have been going there for 8 or 9 years, all summer and throughout the winters, hiking in and everything. And then all of a sudden, when we talk about the area and make it public, all of a sudden there's fences and gates put in within like a season. You know, within a season. Yeah, I don't know. It might be my electricity, you guys. I've been having a. If you came in after I talked about that, how's it going, Ale Listar One? I hope I said that right. Yeah, they haven't. I've been complaining about it. We actually were complaining about it when I was a kid. My parents and their friends, we go camping every weekend, and they were complaining about it. And we'd go up there, and there was a few fires too, like 30,000 acres, and everybody's like 30,000 acres. Wow, that was a huge fire. And it just now, okay, like it happened when I was a little kid, 5 years old, something like that. Just now, I'm 62, almost 63. You barely can tell there was a fire there now. But for the first 10 or 15, 20 years, you really could tell there was a fire there. But only the Bigfoots were still there. They were talking about the Bigfoots then, my parents and their friends. I want to go camping too. Man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think the elections worked. I think we got took in California this time. Yeah, Bigfoot in the neighborhood. It's coming to that. I've seen some Bigfoots in some neighborhoods. Took reports from some people in this one neighborhood where the little Bigfoots were they were running across the rooftops of the houses, holding hands, skipping, and the other ones were going through the garbage cans. 63, that's a good age. It is. Thank you, Patrick. How's it going, Patrick? But yeah, there was this one lady I talked to when we were taking the report of the white Bigfoot, and there's like how a neighborhood, okay, a neighborhood on this side, and then a road, chain link fence, and then right on the other side was a orchard, a peach orchard, and it went about, I don't know, 300 yards, and then there was the river. But and this is in the middle of a city, right on the edge of the city. And I mean, it's a city. And there's a college right there and a mobile home park and everything. I mean, it's a city. And she liked to walk her dog on that little road running between the orchard and her neighborhood. And she said she did it every evening, but the evening or a couple of evenings before we came along to talk about this video this guy shot of this white Bigfoot right across the road inside the orchard from his front yard. He's taking video of this white one in there. And we were over there talking to him, and she comes walking up, and she's walking her dogs, and she said it was good to see some people out here because when there was people, whatever it was in the orchard that shakes the trees wildly, that scares her back into her house. She saw us out there, and she decided it was time to take a walk, because she knew that if we were out there, whatever is out in the orchard wouldn't be shaking the trees and scaring her and her dog, right? The dog is scared too. Let's see. I've seen Sasquatch glide, but I never seen him glide in the city. I seen him run across the river though, in the same place I'm talking about. Me and Jeff and man, I think it was Elijah. I might be saying that wrong, but we went over there, and we were out there in the night around 1 or 2 in the morning, and we were hanging out, seeing if we might see that Bigfoot. And we were using a FLIR. It's okay, Renee. And the Bigfoot stepped out, and we could see it on the FLIR. Couldn't see it with our eyes because it was dark, but the way it was looking, it could see us. By the body reaction or the body movement on the FLIR, it could see us, and it freaked out that we were there. It didn't know. We were walking through green grass in a park. We're making no noise. We're only 25 feet or less from it, and it jumped out and looked at us, and then took off across the river and gone in like 3 seconds. It ran far too, like 150 yards, and it was gone just like that, like bam, gone. And then Jeff didn't have it recording. Oh man. It was like, what? No. Darn. Isn't that how it always is? You get them, you have them there, and then you don't get the recording. It's crazy. Something wrong? Yeah, they move really fast, bro. Really fast. No, it might not be bro. It might be ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They run really fast. I don't know, though. I can't tell. Wait. Here we go. Used to work at Kingsview in Reedley, and there used to be at least one Bigfoot that would walk around the sweat lodge we built for the kids there, right by the river. Are you talking about the sweat lodge, right? Yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there, Christina. They are. That's where we saw it too, right over there. Wow. Gaviota. Where is Gaviota? Yeah, the sweat lodge. I think they're attracted to stuff like that, because up here in the foothills, on the they call it's a res, but we called it a mission. But the Auberry Mission, they have one over there, and I would always be over there with he was my security director, Ron Alec, and he was the medicine guy for the tribe, and he traveled all over the place for everybody. But I mean, he's a good guy, really cool. And I would always be over there helping him out with stuff. And for the longest time, he wouldn't tell me anything about Bigfoot. And then one day, he started telling me stuff, and he told me about the war they had with them, and we always were hearing whistles and stuff like that around the sweat lodge, and especially like around the times when they're getting ready to do ceremony and stuff like that. So it's an interesting. I think they're attracted to stuff like that. All right, let's do one. I'm ready. You were abducted by what? Who abducted you? Let's go get them. Hopefully somebody got them. That's that man abducted. That's so not cool. I don't care what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Like it might be shellfish because it might be the shellfish because that's what the one that we saw on the floor. It sounded like it was breaking clams, and I we took some rocks and we clacked, and it sounded just like what it was doing, and that's why it came out to see what was going on because we were making the same sound almost that it was making, and it jumped out and freaked out because it wasn't what it thought we were. I think it thought it was another Bigfoot, and man, when it found out it was us, it really went. Yeah, I believe they do. I believe they do, and I think they like all that fish and squirrels. I think they're all into all kinds of stuff, really. And I believe they can shapeshift in and out at will and disappear. I've heard stories of them disappearing. I never really heard, except for from the natives. I've heard of the shape shifting, but I've never really taken any firsthand reports of somebody seeing it. But I have took a lot of them that said they seen like the Predator movie. They'll like phase out and they'll look like that, or they totally disappear. But I haven't really like heard any real firsthand stories of shape shifting. Although tribal lore, I have heard of it and read it before. They are really slick, man. Like at our spot when we first went in there, and they were coming into the camp area, but they didn't know us, right? It was when we first started going in there, and they didn't know us, so they weren't throwing rocks or anything. They would act like owls for a little while, and then all of a sudden they would get quiet, and there would be nothing, no sign of them at all for the rest of the night. But I would get up in the morning, and I learned, like before, I would try to get up before everyone else so I could go out and look at the tracks and for sign. And I started finding where they would come out of the trees, and it looked like something belly crawl, like it looked like a snake trail, but only like wide, and it right up to the like a little tree that was right next to the corner of the tent, and it was all flattened down right there, like it was there for a while. And from right there, they could see the campfire. They could see they were like a little bit hidden behind the tent, and they're only like a foot from the tent. And it looked like they spent a lot of time right there, like they probably crawled in, like when all the sound quit and we thought they left. They didn't leave. They crawled up more closer in, and they were laying there watching us. And I started realizing they crawl around, and they also drop to the ground. Like if you see them, that's the first thing they do is drop to the ground. They sit down or they drop flat, and they disappear like that. I haven't seen one disappear, but I've seen them disappear like sitting down behind bushes and stuff like that, or dropping to their belly and then not seeing them again. And even go where, after I had enough courage to go where I saw them drop, which is probably 150 yards or so. When I went over there, I see where they dropped and crawled away, but only I didn't see him crawl away. You know what I mean? I just saw him drop. I'm on a wired connection. Not bad. Even though I want to do another, one sitting outside with my camera on night vision, and it's all on batteries and running through my cell phone. That would be wireless, doing it like that. But I only could go like about an hour, and the phone dies running that app and the camera. But it's fun to sit outside and enjoy the breeze and stuff. It's starting to cool off where I could do that. I'll do a few of them. Even though this is pretty cool sitting right here, I don't have to worry about the battery dying. Just sit here and ratter, chatter, patter, watter, chatter. Yeah. 7, 8, or 9 feet tall, 800 pounds. I would say the same thing. Only I've seen him like 12 feet tall and 1,200 pounds. Like I tracked one. We were horseback riding, and my horse, it was a little more cagier than everybody else's horse, and it got so annoying to me. I mean, it was bucking, and I couldn't make it go. I mean, we were way far in there too, and it just wouldn't go. And I was like, all right, I'm taking mine back to camp. But it was like acting like a fool, you know. So I jumped off, and I was walking it back, and I was chewing the horse out, you know. And I was gonna cinch the saddle up too. When we got back to camp, it wasn't gonna get a flake of hay and brush down right away. I was going to cinch up the saddle a little bit, tie its nose to the trailer like that far away. But I was walking along with it. And once we were like walking away from where we were going, it started to settle down after a quarter mile or so. And I noticed some Bigfoot tracks. I was looking on the ground, and I was seeing all the hoof prints of the horses, but I noticed that the Bigfoot prints were sinking in the ground more than the horse. And I was like, oh my God, you know, they weigh more. Okay, then I was trying to figure out, okay, the horse has 4 feet, so the weight is distributed by 4 feet. And the Bigfoot's only on 2 feet, so you know it would be more weight on 2 feet than a horse would be on 4 feet. But still, a horse is freaking heavy, and it was sinking in there a little bit, but not like the Bigfoot was sinking like half an inch into the dirt, when I can only see where when the horse walked, the hoof would like kind of push down into the dirt. I started tripping out then, man. I started walking back, and it started making sense why my horse, he was a lot, I think, smarter than everybody else's horse, but he wouldn't go any further. I mean, he was not going down that road. And after we got down there, I was showing everybody later, and they were tripping out that the Bigfoots were sinking in more than the horse. And we know the weight of some of the horses were 1,200 pounds or better. And these things were really sinking in. You know, it's like, it was a trip. It was a trip. I have no idea. I never saw a dog man. But if it was up against some of the Bigfoots I saw, he ain't got a chance. How fast they are, and powerful and graceful and fast. Oh my God. These things are so fast. Yeah, see, I thought of that too, like how big the Bigfoot foot is, and how the weight is distributed on the foot of the. Yeah. I always wondered like what would be like a Kodiak or a grizzly bear and a Bigfoot, who would win? Yeah, I always wondered that one. Wow. Sasquatch shapeshift between Sasquatch and Dogman. That's interesting thought. Hey, Cali Bigfoot. One punch, huh? One punch knockout. But out goes the Dogman. No. Yeah, elephants, they walk quiet and they don't sink that much if you think about it, But then I've never really tracked an elephant, come to think of it. So how would I know, huh? Except by documentaries, and we only see a few minutes of whatever that is. But I've tracked Bigfoot a lot. I mean, over the last 30 years, I've probably seen more tracks than most people. And almost all the time going out, I can find tracks. And it's not hard at all. Once you start knowing what to look for and where to look, you can find them. And where they sit at, I found butt marks, or butt cheek marks. Yeah, I've found a few of those, and belly, where they lay down in the belly. Yeah, I don't think I would stick around. I don't think I would be sticking around. I would be crapping my pants too, but I would have to be boogieing it. Night, Patrick. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. 9:53. Wow, it is late for you guys and out on the East Coast. I was looking at. I saw an article yesterday, I think it was, and they had found prints, and they were saying it was human prints, and they're like 50,000 years old, and it was in the salt. I think it was Utah, and the way they described it was, or said they were old. It was because of the seeds of the grasses that grow there. They figured it would the tracks are 50,000 years old, and somebody was saying, how did they know, like, how did the tracks stay there? Like, something must have happened cataclysmically to lock those tracks in, because normally tracks don't last that long. And I never thought about that before, but I was thinking, they're not people. That's probably Bigfoot tracks, way out in the middle of nowhere. I believe they fight each other. I believe the Bigfoots fight each other. I never heard of the bite marks on them like that. The devil's backbone, I heard of that one. The flying, they have flying contraptions. I think if something was wandering around in this, like in the swamps and stuff like that, I think they would be stinky just from that. If they get in the wet all the time, they would get that musky whatever odor. Yeah. Yeah, the chat's interesting. It's flying for me. I don't know how it's flying. I love the chats. I'm trying to make sense of it. It goes by so fast, and then I get to talking and I miss it, and then I go back and it's some of the ones I was looking at were gone. Yeah, You should go. You guys should do it. I mean, some of you guys have some good stories. Like, I wouldn't mind having you guys come on and talk with me on, and share your story. And it would be fun. It would be really fun. Over 9,000. Wow, that's a lot. That'll be a lot. There's so much stuff that I think that we ignore, or we're just ignorant. We don't know because we never asked. And I mean, even if we ask, they might not even tell us. But I know there's very much a lot of stories that the natives could tell you in every region too, and they're different. They're the same, but they're different. If I don't know if that makes sense, but the stories are generally kind of the same, but they all have their own little, kind of like the sightings, that we have now. Everybody's a little bit different. It's kind of interesting. It's how you could tell if if they're telling you the truth or not too. Yeah, and I haven't been out squatching in a bit. About 3 weeks, and I'm dying to get out there again. I really want to get out there, and I'm gonna be like this fire thing. I'm gonna be up at uh, Shaver Lake next Saturday, and I'm gonna try to. I'm hoping it's not deer season. Still, I'm gonna have to check on that. I think it is, so I'm not gonna wander around too much. Um, but I do, maybe after winter hits a little bit and a few storms go through. We're in these burned areas. I think it's going to be pretty easy to track around there in the burned areas. Even right now, I think it would be easy to track in the burned areas because there's no more duff, no more pine needles, no more you know wood on the ground or anything. It's all dirt. And but I think, like, once it rains and stuff like that, I'm gonna try to go out, and I'm gonna take my camera with me, and I'll walk along and talk, and just take everybody on a little hike, and we'll see what we can see in the burned areas, and we'll see if we could come up with some more ideas or theories on how did they fare through the fires. I think they fared all right, and I have a feeling they're going to be in there. I know that when I first saw Bigfoot, I was deer hunting, and I was on the deer migration route. And I know, like, I was raised in this area, and that was our main area, and it was because of the deer migration route is why we were there. And in those times when the deer were moving from one area to the other area, I didn't learn until later that I could find tracks like clockwork at certain times when the deer are migrating. Now that whole area is burned, the whole migration route. I mean, from where they winter all the way to where they summer in the high country, it's burned, the whole migration route. And I want to spend some time in this migration route, and in certain times, like right now would be a good time to be in there, but I can't get over there because right now the deer would be in the wintering area, but only the way the weather is, I don't know. So I mean, I want to get in the area and start getting a feel for everything again with the burn. So because a lot of things are going to change because of this burn, and I want to know. I want to know how it, like, if to understand how it might affect the Bigfoot, you have to understand how it affected the livestock or the animals, and the deer and the migrating animals and all that. You have to understand everything to understand how it affects the Bigfoot, because if they're in the area of the migration at the same time I'm in that area for the same reason, then if that changes, it's going to affect them, and they might not be in that area anymore. If you catch what I mean, I don't hope I'm saying this where people understand. Let's see, check this out. I heard that this recently and was stunned. Supposedly, giants' bones were scattered on the ocean off the coast here in the Channel Islands. Why would they do that? I heard that too. And I don't know why I heard that they not only did it there, but they did it on the East Coast too, the Smithsonian. They're almost, you can't find any giant bones, even though like you could go and research old newspapers from the 1800s and early 1900s, and it wasn't nothing. The people, they weren't, for some reason it wasn't a big deal. They found, I mean, it was a big deal. There was giants, right? But they weren't hiding them. They were putting them on display and stuff. But then all of a sudden, around in the 40s and 50s, all of a sudden the government started getting rid of this stuff. And by today, they'll tell you they don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's weird. Yeah, that one of my friends, there was a fox on her wood pile, like today or yesterday, and she was wondering. She wanted to know what she could do. She knew it was looking for food, and the wood pile is a great place for like little critters like mice and stuff like that. That's probably why it was on the wood pile. But she was wondering what she could feed it. It was like, don't feed it. Whatever you do, don't feed it. Then you're gonna get it killed then, because as soon as you stop feeding it, it ain't gonna make it. Especially if it has pups and it trains the pups to eat with you, from you, and then you stop doing it, the mama dies, and then what? Pups are gonna die too, because they can't eat. So never feed the wild animals, okay? Never ever. And it's sad whatever might happen to them, but that's nature, that's life, it's the circle of life. It's the way it is. Same here, Woolly Booger. I do too. Yeah, but only they have pictures and stuff of these things. I mean, sure they make stuff up, but only that there's stuff that the Native Americans led them to, right? The mounds in Ohio and stuff, like there's giants in there. And they took a lot of it to the Smithsonian Center. There was giants on Channel Islands. All that stuff got dumped in the ocean. I think they're hiding a lot of stuff, and who knows the truth anymore? Who knows? Like even today, who knows who's the president? Like who's Biden? That isn't Biden. He doesn't look like Biden. If you got pictures of Biden from when he was the vice president and you put him to this guy, ain't that guy? Like what's going on? Like I don't even know what to think anymore. Yeah, they had Wolfman stories. They have, I mean, they were saying that, hey, Rafaela, they were saying that they would run ads in the newspaper in LA, Los Angeles, to hunt pterodactyls where I live. And I live about, I don't know, 200 or 300 miles from LA, about 3.5 hours. They would run ads over there so that they could come over here and hunt the pterodactyls. I've been getting pterodactyl stories for 25 years up here. I know people that seen them. I mean, I know people that seen them recently, and I know people that seen them 20 years ago when I first started hearing about them. It's an interesting thing. And see, I thought Bigfoot was the only thing on my platter at that time that I just barely found out about. Now, all of a sudden, there is all these other things running around. It was like, what? I thought, it was stretching it for Bigfoot for me until I saw it. Now, this is really stretching it, all this stuff. But I'm learning that far-fetched as it could be, it might be true. There's some truth to everything. It has a little truth in it. Sometimes it's all truth. It's kind of weird. Man, that's a trip. See, I think that's what Bigfoots have. I think that's why they weren't affected by the fires. I think they could move the boulder in front of the entrance and they were sealed in, and they probably have several entrances so that, they're down under the ground. They're not being affected by anything. Dang, that was a good one. Can't wait to get the power box in, or breaker box. Oh. Yeah, and then there's stories like that, huh? The stories like the guy, the big one with the axe and the blue ox. I mean, and then the fee fi fo fum giant. And where did all that? I mean, where did all that come from? Man, I might want to turn my computer off. If the power goes out, it'll just go off on you guys. But it's not good for my computer. Yeah, I know a little bit about them giants over in Afghanistan. I have a friend that shot one of those in the face, but he won't talk about it anymore. Yeah, near San Luis Obispo. Yep, there was giants. Yeah, wow. Okay, you guys, I don't know. Let me see. An hour and 43 minutes. I wanted to stay on longer than this, but only the power in my house is blinking off and on, and I'm having problems with the breaker box. A couple times yesterday, the power went out all the way, and we thought it was the neighborhood, and it wasn't. It was us. And then all of a sudden, it came on, like mysteriously going off and on, and we found out today that our breaker box is bad. And I bought a new one. I got it sitting out there, and my friend's gonna change it out. He's an electrician, but he told me, that it's gonna do this, and it could go out again, and all this fun stuff that I don't think is very fun. But anyways, I got on. It's Saturday, and I meant to go on yesterday, but I was having so many problems with the power, I didn't do it. It was actually going out, like the whole house went dark. I shut my computer off a couple times, and I can't afford to replace my computer, so I need to go. But I want you to know that I love all you guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. What great chat. I mean, stimulating thought, makes your brain work. I never thought of some of this stuff that you guys have been talking about. It's got me now. I have some things I'm going to be researching because of it. I think it's great. You guys are awesome. I want to pray for you guys before we go. Like, I want to pray for your health. I pray your health turn around. If you're unhealthy, it turn around and you are healthy. I pray health into your life right now. I pray that every area of your life be blessed abundantly, and that you have no area in your life where it's lack or unhealthy. I pray all the resources to you that you need to make it through whatever's coming, and that knowledge to know what to do when it finally happens. So you guys have a really good evening, a great Sunday, and I'll be seeing you next week. Thank you, Christina and Sovereign Cosmic and 1B Tech. Thanks for hammering the trolls, man. I love you. Trailblazer, how you doing? Wow, thank you, Christina. I just saw that. Wow. Thank you, Mark D. Thanks a lot, Willie Booger and Darlene. I love you guys so much. Okay, so I'm ending it right now. Be blessed all week, because it's going to bless you all week.